Good morning, good morning. It's actually 8 o'clock now, would you believe it? On the money. It's 8 o'clock on the money. How are you doing? This is a bit of quality, isn't it, eh? Who needs Sky News, Westminster studios with all their bells and whistles and cameras on the ceiling and free moving cameras and drones? Who needs that when you have a laptop and a very cheap, a free software program? Hey, listen, this is a rebuttal. A rebuttal. A rebuttal against what? You big baldy bastard. I hear you cry as you go about your business. A rebuttal against the claim being made on national television and radio this morning that the UK's medicinal regulatory body is an independent one. Why does it matter this morning? Well, you probably know. Let me bring this in here now. This is hardly professional, but there you go. Look at that. Big news, massive news, marvellous news. If you're listening to the BBC or Sky, BBC Radio, BBC Television and Sky News have been replaced today by shopping channels. Yes, presenters who would probably describe themselves as journalists on their resumes, on their CVs, would claim to be journalists, are gushing, fawning, it's sickening really to see them triumphantly declare that there's a way out of lockdown and a light at the end of the tunnel in this fight, in this battle against the dreaded disease that is coronavirus. There's the story. The UK has become the first country in the world to approve the Pfizer Moderna vaccine for use. British regulator, the MHRA, says the jab, which offers up to 95% protection against COVID, is safe for rollout next week. It's also been announced that the army will get involved in the distribution. Now, as I make this absolutely crap production this morning, the announcement has yet to be made as to who will get it first. Presumably it's so-called front-line NHS workers, nurses and doctors. But it will begin to be given to people from next week, injecting hope into the arms of millions of people. And the thing I take great issue with this morning is, and I know this annoys you from time to time, I know this annoys you, but I'm entitled to a little bit of stubbornness. I'm entitled to have one or two quirks in my middle age. It annoys you when I say it, but I'm an impeccable journalist. Impeccable. All I have, I don't have looks. I don't have a great voice. Well, I have the looks. All I have is my integrity as a journalist. It's unimpeachable, my integrity. And it takes me 15 to 20 seconds of research. No more. And I'm on my own. I don't have a team of producers and editors. It's very easy. 20 seconds to determine that the regulatory body in the United Kingdom couldn't possibly be described as independent. Independent of the big pharmaceutical companies who want to have their medicines approved. Couldn't possibly claim to be independent. So it kills me again this morning to see Kay Burley on Sky News, the goons on BBC Radio 4s and BBC Radio 5 and the other goons on ITV clapping their hands and shrieking with glee that we have a vaccine and it's safe, we can trust the MHRA. Let's have a look at that. Marvellous. Yeah. Let's get rid of the BBC story. Wonderful production values here again, as you can see. I'm using OBS. Hayden recommended it. That's the great Hayden Hughes. Now, the MHRA has a chief executive called Dr. June Rain. There's Dr. June. Dr. June was educated at Oxford University, and she is the current chief executive of the MHRA. Position, I believe, she has held since September or October 2019. Let's have a look. There you go. There's June. Back in September 2019, June was appointed the interim chief executive officer. I think she's got it permanently now. I think she's got the gig permanently. There she is. And this is gov.uk. Dr. June Rain, the interim chief of the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, or the MHRA. There was a lot going on for June in September 2019, which is only a year ago. She was busy. What do you mean, Baldy? How was she busy? Well, there was a lot going on for her. Oxford educated, chief executive, MHRA. She's largely responsible for the approval of the Pfizer Moderna vaccine, the announcement of which was made this morning. A lot going on for this woman back in 2019, September. MHRA, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, team up for medicine safety whilst pregnant. What could that be about? Well, let's have a look. There it is there, all right. Okay, can you read that? Let me have a look. Quite straightforward. The organisations, that's Bill and Melinda Gates and the MHRA, announced the initiation of new research on medicine use which could impact the health of pregnant women around the world. All sounds very benign and lovely. Cosy. Well, it is cosy. Let's just have a look at how cosy it is. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation gave a £292,000 grant over 2 years to the MHRA. Dr. June Rain, Director of Vigilance and Risk Management of Medicines at the MHRA. She was just about to be given the CEO job. She said patient safety is our highest priority. We're determined to support innovation, blah, blah, blah. Ultimately, we're thrilled to bits to be getting all of this dosh from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Where's the problem, Baldy? I'll tell you where the fucking problem is. The problem is Dr. June Rain at Oxford University and at the MHRA was involved in receiving massive grants from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which also gives tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars to Pfizer. Now, I'm not going to do it for you. Don't be a lazy bollocks. Get onto Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever the fuck, right? And enter the search terms Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and Pfizer. This is so fucking filthy you could choke on it. It takes an average man or woman, you don't have to be a journalist, seconds to determine that the UK's Medicinal Regulatory Authority couldn't ever be described as independent or trustworthy. What did the Prime Minister say yesterday afternoon? What did he say? He said something along the lines of, and I paraphrase, he called it telescopic, how they funneled 10 years of research into less than 10 months. It's all going to be okay, don't worry about it. It's all fine because the regulatory agency is independent and is under no duress and is not taking any pressure from anybody. It's making its own decisions, independent of Big Pharma, independent of the World Health Organization, independent of Bill and Melinda Gates. It isn't. And I've just demonstrated that in a couple of minutes. Imagine I had a team of researchers and producers. Imagine what else you might be able to uncover about Dr. June Rain and the MHRA. Right. I've nothing else to say. My work is done here. I'll be with you at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. I'm looking a bit tired this morning. I'm not that tired. I slept pretty well for a change. I've been out walking the dogs. I'm just back. I still need to wake up. I'll be going for a run shortly in the gloom. In the gloom here in Salford. I'm going to put this on Facebook now. And share the bejesus out of it. All right. Okay. That's it from the BBG. See you at 5 o'clock on the Richie Allen Radio Show, which is a live radio show. Bye now.